Well, we wanted to welcome everyone to our Thomas Rhett listening party. The new album is coming out on the 1st. This is such a cool thing to be able to hear music before anybody else. Am I right, everyone?
You're right. They're all muted. They're all in agreement. We've got a couple of questions from everyone, and I'm going to start at the top from Michelle. She says, "Do you have any plans for a full acoustic album or tour? And what has been your favorite venue to play?"
Full acoustic album. I would love to do that. I mean, if you know anything about me, like I love to sit here in this little studio and play acoustic. I've never made an acoustic album before, but that would be awesome. What was the second question?
What's your favorite venue to play?
My favorite venue to play is probably just like everybody else's, Red Rocks in Colorado. And this year is gonna be the first time we've ever gotten to headline it. So this year's gonna be awesome for that. And what was the third question? I have a bad memory of dad brain.
A full acoustic tour.
Full acoustic tour. You know what? I feel like that'd be a blast. I've had a dream for a long time of like me and my dad getting to do that in theaters, across the country, just me and dad and guitars, and be able to tell stories and play songs we've written separately and together. And that would be a blast to do.
That would be awesome. The dad tour. I love it.
The dad tour. Yeah.
Speaking of your dad, we know you've written a lot with him, and Melissa's also wondering if you would ever consider writing with a fan of yours.
Yeah.
If we're a songwriter, how do we get a hold of Thomas Rhett to write a song with him?
Can we just DM you our song ideas?
Send me the idea and we'll make it happen. That'd be a blast.
Hey, Holly, didn't we had a song titled, I don't know if we should say this out loud right now. Are we going to give it away?
I don't think it's that good. We could just give it. It's fine. It's shoulda, woulda, coulda. And we were singing shoulda, woulda, coulda.
Or woulda, it was woulda, coulda, shoulda. And it's got a real 90s Chattahoochee feel to it.
There ain't been a good old Chattahoochee vibe in a long time. We should write something like that.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. It's terrible. See, all the bad ideas are just great.
I think it's got potential.
You got half of it written.
Thomas, Christy is asking, what's your favorite city that you've toured in?
Wait, which one is Christy?
Christy or H.
Christy.
Yeah.
My favorite city I've ever played in. Are all of y'all from the same city on this?
No.
I was going to say y'all's, but let me.
We have people from San Diego,
like
Michigan, Minnesota, Arizona, Texas.
You know what? Nashville can be very hit or miss, I think, to play in. Sometimes it's awesome. Sometimes it's too much industry and family. Like when we get outside the 615, we have a great time. The Northeast has shown us a lot of love over my career, whether it's Boston or New York or even Chicago. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because it's cold a lot. And anytime somebody just said Minnesota, yeah, the coldest I've ever been in my life was in Minnesota this past New Year's Eve. But maybe it's because when summertime comes around, it's just like, let's go,
Yeah. Back to, this is a really tough question here from Melissa. And she said, which one of your songs have you written? Which one means the most to you? I know it's probably impossible to pick just one, but does any stand out to you that you've written personally?
Like on this record or just in general?
Let's go with just this record. I think she probably means in general, but let's go with this record.
There's a few on this record that I feel like are songs that I'll be really proud of when I'm 65, and Angels to me on this project is probably my favorite. I feel like the more records you make and the more songs you sing about love, it becomes more challenging to figure out how to say that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think Angels to me was a love song dedicated towards my wife, but in a way of like, thanks for putting up with me, for 10 years, because it's not an easy task. Joining me alongside this career is not easy. And there are days I look at her and I'm like, man, I think you're half human and half angel, because I think it takes something heavenly to be able to deal with me. And so just the way the song was recorded and produced, it's just super raw and organic and probably one of my favorite songs I got to sing on this project for sure.
We got to preview some of these as well, so that we knew what we were talking about when we got into this little party here. And that song in particular made me think a lot about my wife and our relationship as well. Because
you are hard to put up with, I'm sure.
Holly knows. She's like, she always says, she goes, your wife, Katie, is an angel because
she's an angel.
You're a pain in the ass. Anyway,
right. 100%.
So,
to switch it up a little, let's talk about Bass Pro Hat, the next song that we're going to hear. Yeah. Tell us about that one real quick.
So when I was like in high school, I don't know if y'all remember this, but like I remember when Bass Pro came out with like these multicolored hats with the mesh on the back, and they were like $3.99. And in high school, that was like everybody, we would go buy those hats because we thought we were cool. We were trying to prove something. And my wife still to this day has this like navy Bass Pro hat with white mesh on the back, and it is completely tattered and destroyed. There's mud all over it. There's probably blood on it somewhere. And she wore that thing all through high school backwards. Anytime we'd ride four-wheelers together, anytime we'd go anywhere, she wore this hat backwards. And I don't know, there was just something about that hat that sparked an emotion for this song that kind of, I don't know, that kind of portrays the kind of life that we like to live, which is just simple. You know what I'm saying? Like I think our lives are anything but simple right now with a million kids in our house, but we do strive for a simple life. And that is kind of where this song kind of stemmed from. So I love this track.
Some feel good tunes there. Why do you say we keep it going with the song that I mentioned earlier? I was foreshadowing Half of Me, which is talking about drinking beer mostly, right?
It's like the debating process you go through, when it's maybe too early to have one, but you kind of just want one anyway. The way that this song was written is so funny, man. I was on the road with like my dad and a couple songwriters. We were on the bus, and we had just written a song that we all hated, and but we powered through anyway and finished it because we're not quitters. And we got off the bus, and I looked at one of my co-writers, Josh, and I was like, "Man, let's go grab a bite to eat or something." He was like, "Man, half of me wants a cold beer, and so does the other half." And I think I'd never heard that phrase before, and we just went back on the bus and we wrote this song and had our buddy Riley Green feature on it with us, and it's just so fun, man. I love this track.
Can I ask what song what song you hated?
I couldn't even tell you the title of it, to be honest.
It's never going to see the light of day, isn't it? It's like
no one's ever going to hear it. No.
Yeah. How fun though. Like we're muscling through the bad stuff to get to the good stuff. That's great. That's
normally how it works. I mean, a lot of the time you sit there and you have conversation and you write a song, and sometimes it's 2:00 in the morning. You're like, this is the greatest thing we've ever heard. And then you wake up and you're like, that was terrible. Like, let's try again right now. So
the next song we want to talk about is Death Row. And it reminded me, it's a very deep song. And I kind of had a thought of like Johnny Cash and that whole Folsom Prison thing when I first just even read the title. But can you tell us a bit about where this came from?
Yeah, I mean, I could probably sit here and talk for an hour about that day. But basically, long story short, me and Tyler Hubbard and Russell Dickerson got invited to by a friend of ours to do a quote unquote prison ministry, which I didn't know that was the thing. And they asked us to bring our guitars and play songs for inmates on death row, I guess, to spread some light in the place is pretty freaking dark. I don't know if anybody's ever done anything like this or not, but I had never done it and never even knew it existed. And so we walked in, and I remember I was playing first, and I asked them what they wanted to hear, and one guy raised his hand, and it was Christmas time, and so I just put out my first ever Christmas song called "Christmas in the Country," and this guy raised his hand and he said, "I would love for you to play Christmas in the Country." And I was like, "Well, how do you know that song?" And he was like, "Well, we get to watch CMT for an hour a day." And I guess he had seen, I don't know, a video of me playing that. And the next thing you know, we played for like an hour. And I think I walked in there terrified. And then I left feeling just a little bit different. And I can't really explain what it was. I think I just never met someone that knew the day that they were going to die and how. And there was that kind of hit me weird, because we kind of live our lives like we're immortal a little bit. We kind of go about our day being like, well, there's some things I should probably fix in my life, but I'll fix it when I'm older. And you just kind of never know, but they do. And I think that's a pretty heavy, thing to grasp. And truthfully, I didn't want to put it on the record because I didn't really know how to talk about the song. I didn't know how to explain it really, unless you've been in that scenario before. I just left feeling a little bit different. I think I went in judging a book by its cover and left feeling different. And the only way I knew how to really explain that was through a song. And my co-writers helped me really kind of put into words what we experienced that day. And it's been wild to kind of answer some questions on that song and kind of get some feedback from it. But yeah, that's a heavy one, no doubt.
So Thomas, can you tell us about the song we're going to hear, Bring the Bar to You?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of us maybe experienced new ways to party in 2020, and because I wasn't going anywhere. I don't know if y'all were, but it became like date night for me and Lauren. Literally became like opening a bottle of wine and sneaking off to a place in the house where kids were not, and we would watch a movie. And I kind of related that to like, well, we don't have to go anywhere to party. We can just do it right here, So we kind of this is probably the most unique track on the record as far as like production standpoint, but like I don't think my kids fully know what this song is about, but I know they like to dance to it, and it'll be a fun one to play live for sure.
Okay, and we're gonna get to our last one to preview. It's called Where We Started. I think this kind of sums everything up. It's kind of a nostalgic tune, looking back on your life, right?
Yeah, I mean, Ashley here at the label reminded me a while ago, like I guess it was like a month ago, that I've been doing this for 10 years now. I don't feel like I've been doing it for 10 years. The hairs on my head prove that it has been 10 years since we started doing this. And I don't know, I look back at my life a little bit and I'm like, dang, like how did this happen? You know what I mean? Like how did we get to the point where I was given the ability to write a song and allow people to hear it? I still feel so grateful every day I wake up and I get to say that my job is to put a smile on somebody's face. You know what I'm saying? Like it truly is a wild thing. And just thinking about how much has changed in 10 years, got married when I was 22. I got 4 kids now under the age of 6, and like still get to do what I love to do for a living. So we thought the song was finished, and all of a sudden it wasn't, because this girl named Katy Perry decided to jump on it with me. And it's a very just anthemic kind of cinematic track that kind of sums up what a lot of this record's about. So it's really neat. Y'all. All
right, Thomas, we know
hanging out with me.
We know you're a busy guy, so we're gonna let you get going, but we are gonna listen to the rest of these songs and we're gonna enjoy the heck out of it.
Right on. Thank y'all so much. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Hope to see y'all on the road this summer.
Thank you. Thanks for the new music. We appreciate it so much.
Of course.
Yes.
I'm glad y'all are going to get to hear some of these. Thank you.
All right.
Have a good day.
Rhett.
See you later.
Bye, y'all.